It is 3 wins from 3 for Real Madrid, and Robert Lewandowski scored again for Barcelona.
Yeah, time to talk all things La Liga with presenter Semra Hunter. Semra, we have to start with Real Madrid and their 100% start to the season. How good are they looking?
They're looking pretty good, I would say. Espanyol are always a bit of a nuisance for them. They put them up against the ropes last night, even though Real Madrid did start out really quite well. They scored inside the opening 15 minutes or so, and it was a relatively dominant performance from them in the opening period. But then Espanyol, they managed to pull one back around the 40th minute, almost kind of out of nowhere, even though it did feel as though in the minutes leading up to that, they were getting back into the game. The second half was very different for Real Madrid. They looked a little bit short of ideas. You could see some of the players kind of puffing out their cheeks with a little bit of, what should we do now? How do we get back into this game? How can we take control of the game? Because Espanyol really lost the fear element. The fans were behind them. They were pushing them forward. And it was a really entertaining game. But Real Madrid, they're going to do what Real Madrid are going to do, right? In the last 15 minutes, it's the same story as always. They managed to find a way back into the game, to take the lead and to score what would eventually be the winner in the case of Karim Benzema scoring twice. So it's the same tale as it was last season. They're the comeback kings. You can never write them off. It was the 87th minute to get them the what would be the eventual winner, as well as the extra goal in extra time. But they look like on solid footing. They have a lot of work to be done in the sense that Casemiro is now gone. Carlo Ancelotti is experimenting at the back. He's rotating a lot more than last season, but it's certainly a very good starting point for the reigning champions.
Are there going to be riots in the streets of Madrid, Semra, if Karim Benzema doesn't win the Ballon d'Or?
I tell you what, there might be, because everyone here in Spain seems to think that he's already won it. And to be honest with you, I think he probably deserves it. He's already picked up the UEFA Best Men's Player of the Year awards, and it would be really a surprise if he didn't manage to pick up the Ballon d'Or. He's done everything he possibly could in order to pick up that accolade. He's a phenomenal footballer. He's had the best season of his career by far. He's scoring all kinds of goals. He's throwing up assists. He's a very well-rounded, very complete footballer. He's not just a traditional out-and-out striker. He can provide so much more than that. And so he's already picked up where he's left off in terms of the goal scoring. He's already on 3 so far and counting, of course, for Lewandowski here now. That'll be a really, really interesting battle to see who's going to finish on top in terms of that department. But he's a wonderful footballer, and I expect to see more of the same from him this season. And I do expect that he will be win the Ballon d'Or. So perhaps we won't have any riots in the streets then.
Good, no riots.
Right, let's switch Barcelona and Robert Lewandowski then. He scored twice as they beat Real Valladolid 4-0. That now puts him on 4 goals in 3 games. Are you surprised at how quickly he's adapted?
No, Robert Lewandowski is world class. I mean, I think you can put him pretty much in any league and he's going to deliver for you. He's so experienced. He's a winner. He's competitive and he's a leader. Xavi, after the game last night, just was waxing lyrical about how wonderful he is. He just went on and on and on post-match talking about everything that he brings to Barcelona. And he talked about how humble he is, how much of a hard worker he is, how much he elevates everybody else around him. He has a presence with Barcelona and the players that are around him. And so I think everybody wants to play to his strengths, and that's exactly what he's there for. He's there to finish for you, and he's now scored 2 braces in a row. He's a top scorer in the league. I'm sure many, many goals are going to be coming along with him. Maybe he does have that personal sense of motivation to do one better than Benzema, who knows? But in any case, he really has fitted in very, very well at Barcelona, and he's taken to them like a duck to water, and they're making the most use out of him as they possibly can, that's for sure.
Right, we're going to get to Pedri in just a moment. Firstly, I want a genuine one-word answer, Semra. Top scorer, Benzema or Lewandowski?
Oh, no. Lewandowski.
There we go. That wasn't so hard, was it? Right, let's talk about Pedri, because I'm reliably informed you're going to impress us with a Pedri stat.
Okay, so I did see this fantastic stat last night on Twitter, and it had to do with his goal scoring. So Don Andres Iniesta, as we love to call him here, because he is an absolute midfield maestro, a magician, one of the best to ever play football, that's for sure, and certainly one of the best footballers in Spanish football history. Well, it took him 177 games with Barcelona to score, or 141, now I'm mixing it up, sorry, 141 games it was to score 10 goals. Pedri has scored the same amount of goals in half the amount of time, just about, so in 77 games. So it really is quite surprising for someone who doesn't necessarily have that in his locker. He's not a natural goal scorer, Pedri. He's there to be like the playmaker. He's very good on the ball. He's technically very gifted. His passing range is excellent. His dribbling is excellent. But he's there to set everybody else up for success. He's not usually the one to do it himself, even though by his own admission, he says, if I see legs, I'll just cut it back and do whatever I can. So to see him add goals to his locker really is something quite nice to see, because he's a superstar for the future. I can tell you that right now. He's absolutely fantastic, one to keep an eye out for. And his game is only going to get better from here, especially now working under Xavi. So I just seem to like that stat a lot. I thought it was quite nice. And so I shared it on Twitter.
Semra, lovely to speak to you as always. Thank you very much.